Peace and blessings and assalamu alaikum. This is your brother Malcolm Flex. My bad, dear family. I had the volume of the mic off. Okay. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me now. I had the mic off. My bad. But again, I would like to open in the name of Allah, who appeared to us in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I also like to bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is his last and greatest messenger and exalted Christ. And I also like to bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is his divine warner, teacher in our midst. And I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace in paradise. Assalamu alaikum, dear family. Family, I would like to, peace, Auntie Charlotte. Good to see you. Thank you for tapping in. I would like to share some good news with you all, dear family. I got some good news at the end of this video, so if you can just stick around and just give your brother time, I got some video footage for you, and I got a lot of good information, a lot of updated information, a lot of very important and intricate information. This video is titled, World War III, Zionism versus Islam. I named it that because we are living in dire times. We are on the horizon of Armageddon, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has definitely been preaching and teaching about the coming of Armageddon, and also the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So if you can see behind me, I have his books, The Fall of America by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. If you haven't read it, you have to go get you a copy, And I also have his other book, Message to the Black Man in America. And if you have not read Message to the Black Man in America, I suggest you go ahead and get this book. I'm going to be reading an excerpt out of his book tonight. This video is about Donald Trump declaring Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. And Donald Trump sparked a whole lot of controversy over in the Middle East among all the Islamic nations. He sparked a lot of controversy among many of the Muslim nations over there in the Middle East. And we will prove this tonight, dear family. So just give me a second and bear with your brother, because I'm going to do a little reading and I'm going to play some videos for you all to see what I'm talking about. So first let me play the video of Donald Trump making his declaration. for some reason, I'm not able to get audio in this video, but I'll read it for you. Okay, so if you can hear me, that's what matters right now. And we'll try to fix the audio in a second. We'll try to fix the audio in a second, but I'll read it for you. Okay, United States recognition of Jerusalem as capital of Israel. On December 6, 2017, U.S. President Donald Trump announced the United States recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and ordered the planning of the relocation of the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, welcomed the decision and praised the announcement. On December 8th, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson clarified that the president's statement did not indicate any final status for Jerusalem and was very clear that the final status, including the borders, would be left to the two parties to negotiate and decide. So I'm going to skip down to the next paragraph. It says, Palestinian officials have said that the announcement disqualifies the United States from peace talks, while Hamas called for a new intifada following Trump's declarations. Following the announcement, there were demonstrations throughout the West Bank and Gaza Strip, as well as in Iran, Jordan, Tunisia, Somalia, Yemen, Malaysia, and Indonesia, and outside the U.S. Embassy in Berlin. By December 25, 2017, Salafi groups had fired almost 30 rockets towards Israel from the Gaza Strip, okay, with almost half landing inside Gaza. Okay, but the main points that I want to highlight is that you got the West Bank and Gaza Strip, as well as Iran, Jordan, Tunisia, Somalia, etc., doing demonstrations in the streets of their countries because Trump has made a declaration that he is going to declare Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Okay, so many of the Muslim leaders in the Arab countries had a meeting in Egypt. Okay, they had a meeting in Egypt about this. Okay, so let me play the clip. Let me see if I can get some volume on the clip, and I'll play the clips for you all. Make sure the volume is working.
Thank you. When I came into office, I promised to look at the world's challenges with open eyes and very fresh thinking. We cannot solve our problems by making the same failed assumptions and repeating the same failed strategies of the past. Old challenges demand new approaches. My announcement today marks the beginning of a new approach to conflict between Israel. When I came into office, I promised to relocate the American embassy to Jerusalem and to recognize that that city, and so importantly, is Israel's capital. This act passed Congress by an overwhelming bipartisan majority and was reaffirmed by a unanimous vote of the Senate only 6 months ago. Yet for over 20 years, every previous American president has exercised the law's waiver, refusing to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem or to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital city. Presidents issued these.
So that's footage of Donald Trump making the declaration that he's going to declare Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Now he has sparked controversy. he has gotten criticism for his decision. His decision has been condemned by the Arab leaders. Okay, so let me try to play this clip for you as well and see if you can actually see hear the footage.
Thank you.
A dangerous violation of international law. That's how Arab foreign ministers have described Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Meeting an emergency session in Cairo, the Arab League urged the US to abandon a move its Secretary General said amounts to the legalization of the Israeli occupation. Ahmed Aboul-Gate urged world nations to recognize the state of Palestine with East Jerusalem as its capital. A call also made by the Palestinian foreign minister, who made it clear that Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas will not meet US Vice President Mike Pence when he visits the region later this month. In fact, he said there'll be no official communication between any Palestinian official and any American official. A possible meeting with Pence has also been turned down by Egypt's Coptic Church, according to the state news agency.
President Donald Trump is...
Pence will be seeking to defend Trump's decision to relocate the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. Lebanon's foreign minister suggested economic sanctions should be imposed on the US to stop the move, though that option was not adopted in the Arab League statement.
So, dear family, that poses a great risk, and what it is doing, it is fanning the flames of war, okay? Because by them declaring the capital Jerusalem now, then they basically moved into Palestine and changed everything up. So why do I say this? Okay, you have the Dome of the Rock there, the one of the most famous Muslim mosques there in that location. Okay, so this is where the Muslims are, and this is where the global guardian of Al-Aqsa is, the guardians of the Dome of the Rock. So when you change that whole situation, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a prophecy that says that among the Jews that the Messiah won't come until they build the third temple. So that's what the Jews are attempting to do at this point in time, is that they are trying to build the third temple so the Messiah could come. So that means that they have to tear down the mosque in order to build this temple. Do you all hear what I'm saying? They have to tear down this mosque so they can build this temple. Okay, so this is causing even more problems against Muslims and Jews. You know what I'm saying? Islam and political Zionists. That's what's actually taking place right now. Okay, so let me play a clip. Matter of fact, let me read from Message to the Black Man real quick. Like I said, I want to read from Message to the Black Man by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and read his prediction. Then we're going to read high-level Freemason Albert Pike's prediction as well. Okay, and this is page 267, the chapter, The Breakup of the Old World. Okay, and the bottom paragraph, the messenger said, the day of decision between the dark races or nations was begun by God himself in the person of Master Father Muhammad, to whom be praise forever, as is prophesied in the Bible. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Okay, it is clear that the armies of the nations of the earth have geared themselves for a showdown between their forces and Allah and the nation of Islam. We, the so-called American Negroes, the lost and found members of our nation, are in this decision. So let me go down a little bit further. He quotes a Bible verse, and it says, "Behold, I will raise them out of a place where you have sold them," referring to us black people, "and will return your recompense upon your own head." Joel chapter 3 verse 7. "The slave masters of our father must reap what they have sown." Allah calls them to war in the 9th verse of the same chapter. Proclaim you among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all of the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Joel 3:9. Meaning all of the mighty men of science and modern warfare have been called in an effort to devise instruments and weapons against God and the armies of heaven. Okay? So the America and the Western world is getting ready for war, and the Arab world is getting ready for war. So let me, dear family, read what Albert Pike, because Albert Pike was a high-level Freemason, and he made many predictions. He made many predictions on all 3 world wars. Okay? The First World War that he predicted, he said, the First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia and of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergence caused by the agents of the Illuminati between the British and Germanic empires will be used to foment this war. At the end of the war, communism will be built and used in order to destroy the other governments and in order to weaken the religions. Okay? And the students of history will recognize that the political alliances of England on one side and Germany on the other, forged between 1871 and 1898 by Otto von Bismarck, co-conspirator with Albert Pike, were instrumental in bringing about the First World War. So how did this man, know about this world war happening the way it did if he wasn't one of the architects? Okay? So let's go to the World War II. This is his second prediction. The Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. The fascists were people like Adolf Hitler and Mussolini. Okay, so they are saying that there will be 2 different factions that will be against each other: the people with Hitler and all them versus the political Zionists. But all those who study this know that the Zionists funded both sides of the war. Okay. So he go on to say, this war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel and Palestine. During the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would be then restrained and held in check. Okay, they said that they was going to use international communism to keep Christianity in check. Okay, and it said until the time when we would need it for the final social cataclysm. Okay, they said that they're going to need Christianity during the final social cataclysm, What is the final social cataclysm? Okay, and it's after this Second World War, communism was made strong enough to begin taking over weaker governments. In 1945, at the Potsdam Conference between Truman, Churchill, and Stalin, a large portion of Europe was simply handed over to Russia, and on the other side of the world, the aftermath of the war with Japan helped to sweep the tide of communism into China. Okay, so this man, he knew precisely exactly what was going to happen in these world wars. Okay, so let me read what the man said in the Third World War. This is the most profound details that he gives, you know what I mean? Especially when we on the horizon of a Third World War. So we need to really wake up and pay attention to what's going on in the time of what must be done. And it reads, the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agents of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious, excuse me. Okay. It said, then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits, will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer. Okay, they said that Christians is going to be so confused and they're going to be without compass and direction, looking for an ideal to believe in, that they're going to accept the pure doctrine of Lucifer. This is what Albert Pike is saying. They saying they will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. Okay, so since 9/11, that was the Zionist Jews. Hold on one second. Since 9/11, that was the Zionist Jews' opportunity to finally do an all-out war against Islam, the Jews and America, with a false flag operation. And we know that the Israeli Mossad are professionals at false flag operations. So let me play a clip couple clips of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Now look at this. America right now is leading. Now look at this. America right now is leading the nations of the West. England, the European Union, even Japan, and some other nations against what? So Master Farad knew that America was going to lead the fight against Islam. Now I'm going to prove it. Do you really think America wants peace? Let me show you how America is preparing for the great war which she has already lost. It's just a matter of time now. Do you see what's happening to your country? I'm talking now to the citizens of America. Oh, let me get to it. Do you think that the wise in America did not know that a showdown was coming between them and your God? Let me show you how they're preparing. See, Satan already knew that he was going to be uncovered. Does the Bible say that? Yes. 2 Thessalonians, that day shall not come, except there be a falling away first, and the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Who is the man of sin? Now look at that name. Which one will survive the war of Armageddon? In 1972, in this very place, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad went into that word. Let's look at it. The first three letters, not this. Your arm is your strength. But it represents arms and armies. Armageddon. Armies, he said, gathered together for the doom. Armageddon. Now all the armies of the earth now are getting. Now look at this. In another article by Mr. Jim Loeb, it's called U.S. from Nation Building in Iraq to Religion Building. What do you mean religion building? Paul Wolfowitz, the Secretary of Defense, Deputy Secretary of Defense, says, we need an Islamic Reformation. Daniel Pipes, who was appointed by President Bush to the board of directors of the U.S. Institute for Peace, said that the ultimate goal of the war on terrorism had to be Islam's modernization. Now, what America is seeking is actually to change Islam to make Islam suitable and non-threatening to Western hegemony over the entire world.
So the war is not just against brutal dictators. The war at the root is against Islam.
So, dear family, as I'm showing you a chain of events, and I'm also showing you where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is telling us what's going to take place during World War III or during the time of Armageddon, and we have a high-level Freemason by the name of Albert Pike, who I believe is one of the architects, you know what I'm saying, or he has some type of inside information, and he knew what was going to happen with the 3 world wars. Okay, and it's obvious that there's a war against Islam, you know what I mean, with America and Israel. So it is getting so bad over there. It's getting so funky. Like I showed you earlier, is that the Arab leaders had a meeting, an emergency meeting in Egypt, and they also had an emergency meeting in Europe. And there were some European nations who were in disagreement with Donald Trump over this declaration, over this decision to making Jerusalem the capital of Israel. There's a lot of controversy in the Muslim world right now, you know what I mean, behind this decision. You know what I'm saying? Although it happened last year, but this is a very serious situation to where now not only has the minister and the nation exposed these Jews or these fake Jews, these Zionists, because the scripture says this in Revelations 2:9. I know thy trials and tribulations, but ye are blessed. And I also know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews and are not, but the synagogue of Satan. So we have been uncovering Satan for years now. But guess what just took place? Ever since Donald Trump made this declaration, the Muslim world is trying to reach out to black people over here in America. And they wrote a black pastor in Philadelphia, they wrote him a letter, okay? And this is what they stated in the letter, you know what I'm saying, referring to black people. So I want y'all to check this clip out.
It begins. Now, last night, the leaders of the Arab world had a meeting in Egypt. Did y'all see that on our news? All the Arab leaders got together in Egypt to talk about what they're going to do about them recognizing Jerusalem as the capital. Pike said the last war would be between the Zionists and the Muslim world. All right? This is where we at. This is where we at. Y'all still up out there? All right? It's so bad, we received a letter. Philadelphia. Philadelphia received a letter from the Islamic leaders. I don't know why, Keith. They must know we crazy over here. You understand what I'm saying? So we receive a letter. Now, this is going to blow your mind, all right? Because James, am I lying? All right, we receive a letter. Now, let me show you a copy of the letter. We receive it in English, and we also received it in Arabic. Amen? And they are burnt about this recognition of Jerusalem. Now, why they done said that to me, I don't know. Now, them people going to be watching me. You're going to see all kind of people at the game today. Go whosoever. In the world they gonna send that to me for? But they watching you, Israel. They watching you. You got time clock. They watching you. Because your motions, your movements, your ascent, your rise, your prosperity, show the world where we at right now. They wrote us. Now look what they say in the letter, right? All right? Go to the next clip. Look what they say. Hallelujah. This is where it's from. The Sayyid Abdul Hadi, the administrative trustee, the global guardians of the Al-Aqsa. You know what I'm saying? The Dome of the Rock and stuff like that. They guardians of it. And they writing us at Philly and they telling us, Washington cannot broker peace negotiations on behalf of the Palestinian and the Jerusalemite family. They can't broker peace negotiations between the Palestinians and with the 13th Jewish tribe of European Ashkenazi Khazars, who, contrary to Nikki Haley, who is our UN ambassador, she asserted at the United Nations today, amen, they saying that contrary to what she said, this 13th tribe, these European Ashkenazi Khazarians, do not carry any biological lineage to the original black, brown, 12 tribes of the Hebrew. You don't. You're the only one that don't know who you are. The rest of the world knows who you are. You see, these people have no biological lineage. This is why the UN, time after time, say, you don't got nothing to do with this city and nothing to do with this country. And they get mad. The UN is somehow against Israel. No, they're not against the real Israel. They're against the fake one. Ooh! That's what these people wrote to us, man. No lineage to the original black, brown 12 tribes of Hebrew Israelites. They can, nor can they trace any historical relation to Jerusalem or Palestine. You're the only one don't know who you are, Hebrew. It's time to wake up. Time to wake up. Time to wake up. That brown skin you got is not a curse, it's a blessing. That woolly hair you got is not a curse, it's a blessing. It identifies you, and God has set a seal of love upon you. Historical relation to Jerusalem.
Dear family, I just showed you that the global guardian of Al-Aqsa, the guardians of the Dome of the Rock, okay? These individuals wrote black people a letter, and they specifically said that the 13th Jewish tribe has no lineage or no connection to that land, to that area, because they are not a black or brown or dark-skinned people. Family, so, I mean, come on, we got to wake up, because the world knows who we are. The world knows who we are. So let me just say this to all my brothers, my Christian brothers and sisters, my former veterans, and all y'all out there. Listen to your brother. When this war starts, when this war kick off, don't get involved. Don't get in it. Just as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, family, don't get in this war. Don't get in between the enemy. Okay? This is their war. This is their fight. And also, don't let your children join the military at this time. This is not a good time to join the military. Family, because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that this is going to be one of the bloodiest wars that have ever been fought in the history of this planet that we know of. Okay, he said blood is going to go up to the horse's bridle. You know what I mean? family. So do not get involved in this war. Stay out of it. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, Allah, has a place for us. Only if we stay steadfast. But if we are living a wayward life, we will be delusional. We will be disillusioned from the actual prize and what we need to do and where we need to be. Okay? You know, Donald Trump has moved it in motion for this war to kick off. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the Jews want. They say that the Messiah won't come until they build the third temple. That's what they are trying to do, but the Muslims are there guarding the Dome of the Rock, because they're trying to tear down the Dome of the Rock. They're trying to make it to where Muslims can't come and pray there and stuff like that. Okay? And this is what's taking place. So my message to black people, do not get involved with this war. This is not our war. Okay? So I didn't intend to make this video long, dear family, but I did intend to keep it strong. I apologize for the few technical difficulties that I had. You know, inshallah, I'll be able to make everything run a little smoother. But this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all who's viewing and watching. And I would like to greet you all as I can with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.